It's showtime. CFM Radio.
CFM Radio. Let's go.
CFM
What's up?
Radio. Celebrating the release of Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Rolling some metaphorical dice in your computer there, in your computer RPG.
Me and my girlfriend been banging on it all morning with it. It's been pretty good. Loving Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, sir.
Me and her are doing, we're a couple of elves running through doing an all-elf party. And we're doing, we originally thought we were going to do a lot more talking. Turns out people don't really like to talk to elves.
Oh. All right. Learning the hard way.
You know what? It's okay. She's an elf cleric. I'm an elf warrior or fighter. You know, they meet the back end of the sword. It's pretty nice. I was gonna say it's pretty wild to see how big the world is, how much you get in that. Like, you know, they say Larry and them, they're like, you know, no microtransactions, there's no planned DLC. We want you to have the full story out of the box. I've been playing the early access since the very beginning, following it. I'm loving it so far. Me and my girlfriend are killing it. But
nice.
Yeah, it's very fun. Multiplayer madness and
role playing even, you know?
Very which is really cool. Larian, you know, if anyone's played the Divinity Original Sin games, those guys are perfect when it comes to that kind of reactive content.
That's cool. That is so cool. Multiple endings and all of that.
With multiplayer baked in. Like player interactions amongst each other baked in. So like you and your partner agreeing, disagreeing. It affects your overall demeanor of everybody around you and your endings. It's pretty cool.
Wow, no DM required, huh? No
Not
game
yet.
master.
Hey, you know what? Alexa can be your DM these days, right?
Yeah, we're there.
CFM Radio.
We are back. We are listening to Halberd, Nightmare Warship, and Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo.
We do love this one. This is a classic. Kirby Superstar.
Oh yeah.
One of the best games you can play on the Super Nintendo. It's on the Nintendo Switch online service.
Play with a friend.
Oh man, and that co-op is so fun. Hey, give me that Yo-Yo Kirby or that Jet Kirby assisted. Let's go.
And you will be assisted.
Capsule Jr. What's up? All right, so Final Fantasy 16, controversial game, and speaking of controversial titles, Games Radar sat down with Battlefield 2042 senior producer Ryan MacArthur to reflect on the rough road the game has walked and their new Dawn content patch. The headline is, quote, DICE reflects on Battlefield 2042's long road to redemption. From the article, MacArthur says that the first 6 months were a particular struggle as the studio attempted to process all the criticism that came its way. We did, quote, we did a lot of soul searching right after 2042 came out. I'm a big believer in the idea that how you make something is reflected in what you make. So when we started looking at how we wanted to fix the game, we took a really hard look at not only at the game itself, but how we made it. We had gotten away from making it with our players that had gotten lost in the pressure to get the game out. So it sounds like they just wanted to get that game out the damn door, Drix.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yep.
It's an art form, and rushing it sometimes will cause you to make some mistakes and stuff.
Catastrophic mistakes.
You
Reading
gotta be brave putting your stuff out, but make sure it's good.
Oh, I mean, make sure it's truly expressive of what you want it to be.
Yeah, express your intent.
Exactly. And reading further, MacArthur says that each season has seen the player base expand, and with it, the team's enthusiasm. With each of these new releases for players, the team got more and more excited. It really helped get their creative juices going. He continues, I think that's why every season has been better than the last. Look at not just the core work, but the weapons that we made. The fact that we reworked every single map we shipped in this game at launch. With the last one coming out at the end of Season 5. That's something we've never done before. That's a direct quote from him. The producer also spoke about the community backlash to fan base voice during the early life of the game. Quote, initially it was harsh. What was coming back was tough to hear. Players were unhappy, but we knew that the disappointment came from a good place. They loved this franchise. So a lot of this process was saying to the team, let's take this harsh feedback, let's see where they're at, and really understand what we missed. It sounds like the game is only improving with the push to Game Pass. It looks to be going great for DICE and EA these days, Drix.
Yeah, I mean, after hearing this, I'll pick it up when it's on sale. I'd like to play it.
I mean, shit, it's on Game Pass.
Yeah, there's no excuse, right? And yeah, it's kind of unprecedented, like we love a good redemption story, and the underdog coming back. Yeah, I mean I gotta dive back into that too. Maybe get some B-roll, but because you can do that nowadays, and it might not be a lot of fun for the marketing team or whoever's scrolling through those comment sections and being like, "Ouch, guys, that one hurt." But it's a learning experience.
Absolutely,
and it's fun to follow if you're not getting flamed on the internet. That is
right. It's easy to talk about like, oh man, take this as a learning experience when you're not the one getting flamed. But truly, it sounds like the senior producer Ryan MacArthur. He came in and he's like, you know what, we are going to take this as a learning experience. CFM radio.
Oh yeah, this is Splashdown. It's like the second level from Rystar, Zone 2, 1.
I love Rystar, one of the unsung Genesis hero games. Fantastic game. If you haven't played it, I think you could play it on Switch Online if you haven't played it.
Oh boy, yeah, what a gem. That's great. Resurrect him,
Resurrect Rystar.
Shooting star character. He just grabs things and headbutts them. I really liked platforming and climbing around in that one.
Yeah, climbing around was awesome.
Surprised I haven't seen more of the 2D games do some of that. At least fun hookshot stuff. But
you would think you would think like Klonoa and the games like Rystar, games like that would. Bionic Commando. Yeah. Bionic Commando.
All these first grappling hook I remember.
Yeah, all these games, you think they would be big indie game darling style mechanics, but you don't see them a lot, and it's pretty weird.
Soundtrack still slaps.
Still slaps. You know what else slaps? New releases. And you know what? We have to say,
Mhm.
Baldur's Gate 3 is the new release this week. I make way for Baldur's Gate 3. Like,
Yep.
yeah,
Not just on your hard.
yeah, there ain't a goddamn thing else coming out this week. So, you know, which blessing in disguise, really.
Mhm.
Like, there are so many games. There's Pikmin 4, there's Final Fantasy 16, Lego 2K Drive, the Crash Team Rumble. There are so many games that you could be playing. Street Fighter 6, so many games you could be playing right now. Huge, meaty, giant games.
Yeah. They've been hitting lately.
They've been hitting pretty well. So,
Games of the summer.
CFM Radio.
CFM Radio.
Hi.
Mhm.
You know, Drix.
Video game, music and news. That's what we do.
Every week.
That's what I know anyway. Mhm. At least.
And you know what, Drix? Come on. I don't know why Xbox just can't stay out of the news.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks in a row. Different developers, huh?
Yeah, it's not like any of this is fantastic or great news. You know, we've had the FTC going on with all their dirty laundry airing out through that. Now you got all the devs, not all the devs, I shouldn't say that. You have devs coming out and just saying this Xbox man is just a tough cookie to develop for. Because, Drix, we have another dev that comes out to speak about the difficulties of developing on Xbox hardware. So, I don't know what you want to call it. It's either X or Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, I uninstalled it the minute I saw that logo on my phone. I was like, nope.
It doesn't even matter. It's the same thing. Like...
O juiz apita, começa a partida, o maior espetáculo da terra, futebol e o gol!
The Control, a dev on the team for Control, critically acclaimed game, Thomas Puha posts, and quote, from his personal Twitter, I feel Larian's pain on the Series S. It's not about, quote, just optimize at the end, lol. Nah. You have to take into the account the technical limitations from the beginning of development. Nobody really wants to think of that when you start making your game, when everything is possible. There's a very similar phenomenon in, funny enough, fighting games. So the early days of rollback netcode were a very interesting time to be a fighting game fan, because you had rollback netcode on essentially emulation software first, and that was where it was pioneered on GGPO. And that was a great innovating. It was made by the Cannons, Tony Cannon and his brother, the people who founded Evo. So like these people love fighting games, and they wanted for a long time fighting game online experience was predicated on delay-based netcode. And if you've ever played a delay-based netcode fighting game like Street Fighter 4, like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 OG on the Xbox 360, or the network version on the Xbox 360, or any old fighting game on PS2 or the original Xbox, anything like that, you have experienced delay-based netcode and you understand how much of a fucking nightmare it is to play. So when rollback came around, obviously it was a phenomenon, and everyone was like, man, every fighting game should be like this, because it's kind of like it, or at least it gives you the feeling of playing without very much input delay, so your reactions are realized better when you're playing online. Whereas delay-based netcode, you could lose inputs. Your input could come out literally 1 whole second later. It all depends, right? It's a delay. It's whenever your data gets there. The point of the matter is, what I'm trying to get at is, this sounds like a lot like that in the way where you need to think about rollback and putting it in the game at the very beginning. Your game needs to be, all right, we're making a fighting game that has rollback netcode. It can't be this, we're making a fighting game and then like halfway through, oh, it should have rollback netcode. Doesn't do that. And the proof is in the pudding, because there's a GDC talk about netcode and rollback netcode when it came to Mortal Kombat X. So Mortal Kombat X originally had delay-based netcode. The devs came out and they said, we're putting rollback in it, because by popular demand, we're putting rollback in it. And they had a whole beta period for rollback netcode. So, like, they tested this thing hardcore. You look at the GDC talk, and they essentially needed to redesign the whole fucking game, but keep it the same, so that they could put rollback netcode into the game.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of doing it right the first time.
Yeah. So
backtracking.
It seems like these developers. Now, again, I'm not a game dev. I don't know anybody personally, no family, I should say, in game dev, and I don't correspond with anybody in game dev who's always there all the time. But this really seems like devs were told, hey, we got this new Xbox, it's going to be great, and we've got a lower powered option, but it shouldn't hinder your development space and creativity, right? It shouldn't do that. Nothing like that shouldn't happen. But apparently it does, because unless you're thinking about it from the baseline, like rollback netcode, it can be very difficult to go back and retroactively think about, oh shit, now I gotta make it work on this piece of shit.
Yeah. Don't worry, you won't have to worry about it. It won't change anything, except you'll have to think about it the whole time.
The whole
From
time.
the beginning.
From the beginning. When you think about that, a statement like that you need to be thinking about it from the jump. And then you think about Larian, you think about those guys who created the game Quantum Error, you think about all of these devs who are coming out, the Trine guys, you think about them, they're coming out and they're saying, man, this fucking thing is a bitch to develop for because it bottlenecks us. We have to think about this hardware that's like old, while we have, I'll just say it, while I have a PS5 staring me in the face and it's not telling me, hey, you need to design software and games like they're 5-10 years old.
Conform to my hardware.
Yeah, conform to my hardware, where, you know, you have, and it's not good enough. This game can't be an Xbox Series X exclusive. It has to play on both.
How could this be? How could this have happened?
Like, clearly that's the mandate, right? Clearly, like, it has to play on both, or else we would probably have more Xbox Series X, or like what they did with PS4 Pro, like PS4 Pro enhanced games. You know what I mean? You'd see those on the box.
Yeah, that's something they'd want to advertise.
I guess you just can't do that. It just needs to run the same.
Yeah, as an older console.
You know.
Okay. Sure thing, Microsoft.
I mean,
Blizz.
yeah, you know, it's one of those things where like you expect that much from the Switch, because the Switch is basically, you know, you're walking around with a souped up Xbox 360 essentially. But like,
Yeah.
you know, but
What's
like,
the excuse from Microsoft?
who you know, my
Making
PC
operating
game.
systems.
Yeah, making operating systems, like, eesh. That
Shouldn't
doesn't
you have
seem
these-
too good.
these personal computer things kind of worked out in Microsoft? I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, but you know what?
Mhm.
Either way, we're gonna get back to the music before we sign out for the night.
Got a demon, what am I? It's time for me to choose my path. Power of my God hand, no evildoer will get past. Hand to hand or fist to fist, kick your nuts or twist your wrist. God power keeps my pimp hand strong, so trust me or you won't last very long. Dragon kick your ass into the Milky Way. Milky Way. Don't act like you don't like the Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur. My arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, my arm, the summon of the powers of the God hand.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for
listening.
watching. Thanks for listening. However, you have our little tab open, whether you revisit us later on YouTube. We really appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out the video game music and news here on CFM Radio.
Every week here at CFM Radio, we have reviews, news,
New releases.
new releases of the week,
Mhm.
weekly game cast, the best tunes. Absolutely.
Listen out.
The best video game music you're going to hear on the
Mhm.
internet.
Mario agrees.
Drix, I think it's about time we got out of here.
Oh yeah. It's been fun. It's been real. We talk the talk and we jam the jams.
Keep gaming, everyone. See you next week.
See you next time.
I know that you'll be back.